So first of all, a general question to all of us. Do you think a password-protected area in iTunes U is a suitable arena to host lecture webcasts?
No.
Okay, no. Why would that be?
I think if you're going to put it out on iTunes, your intention is probably to go for a broad audience. Perhaps if you want a password protect, then redistribute through your VLE.
Again, it's all about what you're trying to achieve and using the most appropriate mechanism for that, consistent with that. Richard has asked, is there evidence that students who haven't habitually attended lectures watch captured lectures?
Very little. It turns out that students that don't choose to attend lectures just don't choose to attend lectures. Video doesn't really make much of a difference. If a lecturer is very good and they're interesting, you'll find that the audience turns up.
Okay, thank you very much. Question as to how do you motivate and encourage academics who may be unwilling to share their lectures?
Provide support.
Yeah, I think there's always the question of, well, if you ask an academic, do you want to share your knowledge and experience and expertise? And then first of all, you'd hope that that question would always be answered in the positive, and if the answer is not, then I think you've got a deeper question to be answered there.
You've got to discover what their fears are and then tackle them one at a time. You give the opportunity, maybe video recording for a closed purpose, just within that course cohort, maybe just even to get them that experience, maybe just a staff development exercise. But once you've taken each barrier one at a time, you'll find that they should be more confident with it.
Yeah, I'd agree fully. You may find that you can address quite easily their concerns. As I've said earlier, a very common concern lecturers have is that people will stop attending their lectures. That one is easily addressed. If a lecturer is very, very camera shy, they could record their lectures as audio lectures. I mean, I think you want to sit down with the lecturer, Patrick said, and determine their concerns. Just deal with them.
It may be that a lecturer is a very experienced lecturer, but they're difficult to hear. Actually providing the video or audio lecture support improves that, and they will see that they have gains, and their own feedback from their own course feedback it might improve, and therefore when you can generate that statistic, that will also help them make that decision.
You may find too that the lecturer simply has completely irrational fears. They're concerned that I don't want to do a video lecture because then I'd have to stand behind the podium. And you can say, well, no, you don't have to stand behind the podium. That's what you want.
I get part of it will be sharing good practice through mechanisms that you've mentioned there, Terry, so that the story of others can be heard and learnt from. And I suppose there's also the question of training. That's to simply assume that every person can, without too much anxiety, appear in front of a camera and talk fluently for any length of time isn't necessarily so. And having an opportunity to practice without pressure and set up the best circumstances for it to happen is quite important as well, I think.
There's also, going back to the example from Techdis and the subject network, people can share their stories through guides like this, which this example recently published from the English Subject Centre is all about inclusive teaching, which includes video. And academics sharing the stories directly to each other through their own teaching practice really does make the change. It reduces the barriers. If it goes from academic to academic, in their own scenario, it really does help.
Two very quick questions then. Technical one, first of all. A simple way of adding voiceover to pre-recorded video or captured presentation?
Very, very simple. If you're using an editing system, the video that was shown at the beginning of this webinar, in fact, I sat in a room with a computer with a little microphone, I have some pillows around it, and simply spoke into it, imported that into the edit suite, stuck it underneath. Very, very trivial.
Excellent. And one, higher education, lobbying for practical copyright changes. Can we change copyright to make this all easier? I think the answer to that is that there are bodies carrying out such lobbying. It's mainly for wider exemptions. Nothing will move us from the general copyright situation that if you want to use other people's stuff, you need their permission. There will be certain delimited situations where you get to use other people's stuff through statutory exemptions. But on the whole, if you do want to use other people's stuff, you will need their permission some way. And that could be made easier, and things may move on with regards to orphaned works, for example. Those are works that we can't find the copyright owner of anymore, even though their use might be important. There might also be questions with regards to risk management. Institutions do take the risk of having power tools on the premises because there's a benefit thereof in terms of maintenance of the building. There may be times where a legal risk is taken because of ambiguity in the law, and that's accepted and dealt with. Well, that takes us to the end of the questions part. It leaves me with just the question: if there's one thing that you think could be improved upon in the current situation, what are we doing now with regards to lecture recording that we should be doing better? What is it? And any other top tip that you would give there? I don't know which of you would like to start off.
I'd say my number one concern improving the quality of lecture recordings is improving sound, which means if you're doing a video, making sure you have an external mic of some sort.
Okay, thank you.
Obviously, I would recommend the resources that are available through Techdis for people to improve their delivery of lectures, to make them as inclusive and as accessible as possible. Perhaps just perusing the HEAT case studies, again, another funded area where people can find opportunities to get funding for trying out new ideas, including use of video in lectures. And they might find some very good case studies that help them along the way. So I would say peruse what's out there and share the experience with what you find useful. We find that Twitter is being used more and more frequently for people to share what's valuable through their communities, share them back with us, and then we know what you're finding valuable.
But from JISC Legal's point of view, ours would be, well, in a way, question your anxieties it comes round to, especially with making things available. This lecture, this webcast today that's been recorded will be made available with the agreement of the parties here under a CC BY Creative Commons license. That allows the greatest reuse. In fact, of the materials. It means as long as you attribute the recording, then you can sort it. You can alter it as you like, and chop it up and re-disseminate it as you feel fit. And we hopefully that will mean that it assists the greatest number of people. Okay, it falls to me to round up. Well, first of all, I'll say that beyond today's webcast, we have got three services: JISC Legal, JISC Techdis, and JISC Digital Media, all with a vast range of resources to help you out on these issues. And please do visit their websites. You'll also find all three services have help desks, which will get back to you with expert advice and guidance in order to get around any issues that you have with adopting new technologies. And if you're not sure as to which one to approach, then JISC Advance itself as a help desk. You can put questions through that, and we'll sort out who's best to feed into the answer. Well, we're coming to the end now, and you hopefully have gained something from this afternoon. We'd ask you to fill in the evaluation form, remembering that one of these nice little high-definition cameras could be yours, the nice ZI-8 Kodak camera, to help you make good quality video. After what Steve said, we should have maybe included a microphone to plug into the external microphone socket. At least it's got the socket for that. So please do put that in.
And I just add that, in fact, microphones are very inexpensive. You can get them for as little as £15.
And there we go. That's so it won't break the bank to have a good quality microphone attached to your ZI-8 should you be the lucky winner of it. And of course, these are fairly low cost to purchase yourself. Well, this one here's the nice one, of course. But please do fill in your evaluation form to feed back to us. With that, you can keep questions coming to our help desk, and we will do our best to get back to you. That's by the normal terms. with that, it remains for me to say, well, thank you, first of all, to all the technical team here at the University of Strathclyde, that through their professionalism and a fantastic job of making this all happen. We sit in front of the camera and do our best we can in providing assistance. And so it's a big thank you to Steve, Terry and Lisa, who's been looking at the Twitter feed this afternoon behind the camera. And we thank you all for coming along, being engaged and asking many questions. We hope to have this available as a recording in around a week's time. Thank you very much.